Hi, good morning. My name is Sayyid Shahabuddin. Today we are going to learn about the oscillation. So actually, before we start to discuss about the oscillation, it's very important to know what is motion. The first thing is motion. So what is motion? Here, motion is nothing but if an object continuously changing its position with respect to time and surrounding, that is motion. So in motion we have various motions like translatory motion, curvilinear motion, periodic motion, vibratory motion, oscillatory motion. We have different types of motions, but here in this oscillation we must and should know what is a periodic motion and what is oscillatory motion. So the first thing is, in what is periodic motion? What is periodic motion? So actually, if a motion repeat itself after a fixed interval of time, that is called periodic motion. The first example is the pendulum itself, or the heartbeat, or the motion of an earth. So we have various examples in our day-to-day life which can refer periodic motion. Any motion which can repeat itself after a fixed interval of time. So next one is oscillatory motion. Here, what is oscillatory motion? This is what we are going to discuss today. Oscillatory and periodic both look similar, but we have a slight difference between these two. Here, oscillatory motion is to and fro motion. Here in this again, to and fro, fro motion. And in this motion, acceleration always opposite to its motion. It tries to bring the object to its equilibrium position. Again, here one more doubt, what is equilibrium? Here equilibrium is nothing but when the object is at a position where there is no motion or changes takes place, and we can say in simple terms where the object is balanced. That is called equilibrium position. So these are the few changes, that means differences between the periodic motion and oscillatory motion. So let's start to discuss in deep what is exactly oscillatory motion, how we can calculate. Okay, let's start to discuss. Okay, here oscillatory motion, we can say one thing. Motion. So here oscillatory motion is completely different from periodic, though it looks like periodic, but it's not a periodic. It have several more additive properties than periodic motion. It is periodic plus few more characteristics are there which makes it a different from periodic. So oscillatory motion now we are going to discuss. So take an example. We have two different examples with picture. I will explain you. Let's assume we have a pendulum. Here this is mean position, this is extreme position, and this is also extreme position. So we have two extreme positions at both sides. Here, if you start the journey of this pendulum with an angle theta, let's assume it has now certain height due to which it gains potential energy. So as soon as you release this bob, the bob started to move towards a mean position because continuously one acceleration is there. As soon as it reached to the mean position, it gained maximum kinetic energy. Maximum kinetic energy. Here maximum potential energy is there, and here maximum kinetic energy is there. Due to its kinetic energy, which we call in Newton's law of motion inertia, due to the inertia of a bob, it continued its motion and reached to another side of extreme position. So here as the bob reaching its maximum height, slowly kinetic energy is converting into potential energy. So here the potential energy is maximum. You can see clearly here, when the bob is heading towards the right side, you can see something is there which is bringing back, that means pulling the bob towards its mean position. Yes, you can see here clearly. So this is an acceleration working opposite to the motion of an object. Okay, so if there is no air resistance, the motion of the object continues and continues. There is no stop for this, because as we know in Newton's law of motion, if there is nothing is opposing this object, the motion of an object continuously takes place in a law of inertia. Okay, now we can understand this oscillation. So we can discuss furthermore about the oscillation. The first characteristic is, as we discussed, it is to and fro motion, and it is harmonic motion, simple harmonic motion. So what is simple harmonic motion? If you observe the music, you can see there are 7 notes are there. Sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. So you can see here, after every fixed note, you can see there is a repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8th one is again the first one. So here simple harmonic motion is repeating itself after a fixed interval of time. This is the main difference between periodic and oscillatory motion. So oscillatory motion here repeating it after a fixed interval of time, and its motion is to and fro motion. And as we have discussed that the acceleration of the bob is always opposite to the direction of the bob. So you can see here the direction of the bob is in this direction, but whereas the acceleration always trying to pull the bob to its center, I can say mean position. So next one is, pictorially we are going to understand how a simple harmonic motion is going to work. So if you take the example of a circle, you can see clearly, if a particle is moving with uniform circular motion on a circle, let's assume the particle is at here, and this is the diameter, this is radius r, and this is also radius r and r. We have 2 diameters here. We took to understand a better way. First thing, if a particle q is at this position initially, let's assume this is mean position. Now as the time passes, the particle is here. If you take draw a straight line, you can see that it swipes some angle as the time passes. You can see that there is a swipe in the angle as the time passes, which we call theta. So which theta is nothing but angular displacement. So here angular displacement we can write it as omega t. Omega represents the angular velocity. Angular velocity, angular displacement, and here it is time. Now if a particle is uniformly moving on a circular path, then you can see here clearly there is a change in its position continuously with respect to time. Now draw a perpendicular. For our convenience we are removing this, let's assume we draw it. So here draw a point P. What P is explaining you? Actually P is the foot drawing from perpendicular from the particle. Now the motion of the particle we are representing on a straight line. The motion of a particle we are representing on a straight line. So if the particle is here, it means actually the particle is at origin. That is nothing but mean position or center. as the time passes, it swipes some angle which we call angular displacement, and we can represent with omega into t. Now as the time passes, you can see there, if you draw a perpendicular that we call foot, you can see the object is here. Now if the object is at this position, or the particle, you can see now it representing, it is here. Let's assume the radius we are considering as amplitude, or we represent with the symbol A. What is amplitude? Amplitude is nothing but the maximum displacement made by the particle from its mean position. That is called amplitude. So if this is amplitude, this is also amplitude, and this is also amplitude, because from center the radius is equal for a circle. That's why A. Now if you drawing a foot, here also we took as N. Now we are considering this side as Y. If this is Y, this is also Y, from here to here. What is Y? The displacement made by the particle from its mean position. Now we are going to find what is sine theta in this. Sine theta in triangle, before going to know, in triangle OQN, sine theta is equals to, you can see here, sine theta opposite side by hypotenuse, y by a. But we know one thing, angular displacement is nothing but angular velocity into time. So sine omega t is equals to y by a, where if you send a this side, it multiplies a sine omega t is equal to y. This is equation 1. So what it exactly explaining? So y is the displacement made by the particle. So particle is continuously changing its position. So the first origin was, this is, it started its journey from the origin and it reached to the point P. So here with respect to P we are discussing here. P is the position of the particle and y is the displacement it made by, and a is the amplitude. Okay, a sine omega t is equals to amplitude. This equation is suggestible or support when the particle is starting from the origin. If in case, or from the mean position, if in case the particle is starting from extreme position. Now another case, the particle is starting from the extreme position, where you can see here, from here it's starting. The first condition was here, from here it started its journey. Now the particle is starting from here. If you're starting from extreme position, let's start to know what is cos theta in this, in triangle OQN. OQN. Cos theta is equals to, here cos theta in this triangle OQN. What is cos theta? Base upon hypotenuse. What is base? I can say, I can give the name x. X by a. A cos theta is equals to x. As we know, x is equals to, theta is equals to omega t. So a cos omega t is equals to x. This is equation 2. Why we are getting two different equations here? A sin omega t is equals to y, a cos omega t is equals to x. Here the main difference is when the particle is starting from mean position. Mean position. If the particle is starting from extreme position. What is the difference between these two. The only difference is both are representing the oscillatory motion, but here it referring you that it's starting from extreme position, which we call phase difference. What it is? Phase difference. Phase difference. What is the phase difference between A sin omega t is equal to y, A cos omega t is equals to x? That is very different, very simple. Here you can see that it is 0. You can see here when the object starting from here, it is 0 degree. Here pi by 2, here pi, here 3 pi by 2, and here 2 pi. You can see clearly when the object is starting from origin, the object is here, which is 0. If the object is starting from extreme position, this is the amplitude, that is from here, that is pi by 2. The phase difference between these two equations is pi by 2 or 90 degree. I think up to this you understood. Furthermore, we will discuss about this, how we can find the velocity of this. Okay, so we can discuss furthermore about the oscillatory motion. What is its velocity and how it works. So let's start to discuss some more characteristics, few more characteristics about the oscillatory motion. Here the space is not enough to keep these things, so I'm erasing this. The first equation is A sin omega t is equals to y, and the second we got A cos omega t is equals to x. Here, if we want to know, in case the object is starting from here, let's assume at this point. Now already it has loose distance, it's a angle before we start. Then we can say that A sin omega t minus theta, we can write. Why minus theta here? Because if it is at 0, it is omega t, but we are already in the backward direction. You can see clearly here. So at this point, if the q is at this point, you can see the q is at this point, theta we can subtract from this, so is equals to y. What if in case the object is already here? A sin omega t plus theta is equals to y. So here in simple way we can write A sin omega t plus or minus theta is equals to y. If you can see here clearly, theta if you took 90 degree, why I am taking 90 degree? That means the object is, the bob is starting from its extreme position. So A sin omega t plus 90 degree is equal to y. As we know, sin 90 plus theta cos theta. So A sin, so now here we can write A cos omega t is equals to y. Again we got the same as like this. Why here? Actually y represent the amplitude. And one more thing, if the object is continuously revolving or moving on a circular path and its foot is continuously on a straight line, even though it's moving on a circular path, its complete image we can represent on straight line. The first is when the object is here, it is continuously representing on this line. Now it back to this position here. If in case here, this is the foot which we draw perpendicular to the particle. And the best one is about this, if you want to know where the object and from which direction it is moving or coming or it is leaving the origin, very simple. To understand this, it is important to represent the angle. If we know the angle if you know the angle of, yes, if you know the angle of, if you know the angle of, sorry, if we know the angle of particle, we can easily understand. If you know the angle of particle, we can easily understand. Let's assume it is something like 60. So 60 inches, it is here. That means here you can draw the foot here. That means the particle is actually leaving the origin and heading towards the extreme position. If in case it shows like it's 180, like 150, it's coming from the extreme position. To understand whether the particle is leaving the origin or coming towards the origin, we must represent the angle. What is the angle? Then only we can understand easily. Now I want to know what is the velocity of this. How I can find the velocity? What is the velocity formula? Velocity is equals to, here, displacement by time taken, whatever is here. So velocity, I can write dy by dt. Here dy by dt represents for a small duration. And if you know this, actually at this instant, what is its velocity, which we call instantaneous velocity. Why we know, what is y? Here, a sine omega t. So v is equals to d a sine omega t by dt. So I can write a as constant, sine became cos omega t dot omega. You can see one time, double time derivation. So here v is equals to, so v is equals to a cos, I can write a simple terms, a omega cos omega t. So this is the velocity. If I want to know, this is in terms of velocity and time. This equation shows the relation between velocity and time. If in case I want to know what is the relation between displacement and time, very simple. V is equals to a omega cos omega t. What I can write here? I can write, okay, space is here, cos square theta plus sin square theta is equals to 1. If I take cos square theta is equals to 1 minus sin square theta. So cos square theta is equals to, I can take if you sin square that side, root of 1 minus sin square theta. I can substitute this value in place of cos theta. V is equals to a omega root of 1 minus sin square omega t. If I take a inside, V is equals to a omega, a we are taking inside, a square minus a square sin square omega t. But we know one thing, if you write omega root of a square minus a sin square omega